In this review, I'm going to be going over this Clarion. It's a model VX404, which is a 2014 model. This is their in-dash double-din 6.2-inch LCD in-dash DVD, Bluetooth enabled, Pandora ready CD receiver. So first off, I got the unit laid out and powered up for you so you can see that, and I'm going to give you some quick measurements so that way you have that for your installation requirements. This unit comes in at 6 and almost 7 inches perfectly in width, just a touch shorter, and on your height just under 4 inches. Give you the old side profile. Over here you have your mounting screws for your Nissans, Toyotas, standard ISO layout. From behind the fascia to the back of the chassis you have 6.5 inches. We already have the 4 inches in height, so that's not necessary, but if you care, from the absolute front, tip-top front to the back of this unit, you got 6 3/4. And that 6 3/4 is me omitting the extra that you're going to need to require for the space to forgive for all these extra cables and stuff that are going to come out and wind up going wherever they're going to go behind your dashboard. So while we're back here, let's take a closer look at what else we have back here. Now over here you have the standard Clarion 16-pin harness, which they have used forever, and that's a really good thing, and I'll tell you why I like that. Because it's so common these days for these manufacturers to keep changing these pin outs, changing them, making them confusing for people to do their DVD bypasses or to have to rewire their systems because they're upgrading from last year's to the current year's models. It's like enough already. Clarion just says, hey, that's our harness, we're going to leave it like that, and like it or not, which I like very much, good for you. So I'm happy for Clarion for that one reason. I've always liked that about Clarion. Some other people may not feel the same way, however I do. Now, moving along over here, I already have my CDIU 50, which is actually just a standard generic iPod sync cable, which I'm using for the USB port which they provide to you. And this unit here has this cable, which is about 2.5 feet in length, so it's pretty good. And of course over here you got some extra RCA cables. One is for auxiliary video input, number 2 your dedicated rear view camera input, and over here you got auxiliary 2 audio input. Okay, over here we have a plug for a standard HDMI cable, which is something new for the 2014 model on Clarions, which is going to allow you to integrate your smartphone, whether it be Android or iPhone. Everything but the iPhone 5 or 5C, according to my research, will work perfectly on this unit. Of course, there's always software updates, and everything is so internet compatible these days. That may be what one of these two plugs here is used for. I've read the manuals thoroughly. I've done online research. I've called whoever there is to call. I cannot seem to understand what it is that those two plugs were made for. From what I was told in 2013, they were supposed to make a proprietary plug just for their rear view camera input. I'm not seeing that. So, I don't know. No one knows. Now, there is another longer plug here, which is all your pinouts for your standard RCA harness, which comes with the unit. You have, of course, your subwoofer, stereo output, by the way, front, rear, auxiliary input, and you have your steering wheel interface plug right there, and you got your video slave output. Now that would be utilized because this is a dual zone monitor, so what that means is that you could have, say, Pandora going on in the front zone, and you could be feeding audio into a set of infrared headphones to your children and have the video source being fed out of here simultaneously, so you have a true dual zone entertainment system in your vehicle. The system also comes with a wireless credit card remote control, which is great, especially for that one purpose. But I'll tell you about some things that I don't think that are so great. Now, some of the things that I don't like about this, unfortunately I hate to talk bad about you, Clarion, but you know, it's my thing. I'm fair. That's why people like me. So I don't like the fact that they omitted the trim rings. Now, up to this year, they used to be so generous, actually more generous than any other manufacturer out there. They used to give you a flush mount trim ring. They used to give you a form-fitting trim ring. This year, no trim ring. So they went from having an abundance to none. So that kind of aggravates me, and what can I tell you? The microphone is not external on this unit. It's actually built right into the unit. Up here you have your slot load for your CD DVD drive, your eject button. It's located here. Menu, display button. This is a multi-toggle button which you can use to push and turn left and right for multi-functions, which I'm going to show you about how to work that a little bit later on in the video. Over here at the bottom left you have a little cover which protects and keeps dust out from the micro SD slot. Also right here there's a port for a 3.5 millimeter audio input, so if you're old school and you don't have anything that's digital connectivity wise for your Android or your smartphone, iPhone, whatever phone, you can go old school and use the 3.5 analog audio input right there. And they also hid the reset button right in here too. I was wondering what that was. That's actually the reset button, because who the hell wants to see that anyway? So gloss black finish, very nice. Standard size screen. I mean, it's got a lot to offer, so let's get into this unit and start using it and see what this unit can actually do for you. Now first off, just as a note, I like to make this point. Up on the top there are two screws right here which are located, they're shipping screws for the CD DVD drive, which keeps it intact, so that way the optical drive that, you know, works the disc player does not get affected or damaged in some way during transit. I left mine intact because I am not going to demonstrate the DVD, because you can watch a DVD on your own time. Now here is your home screen. This is very swipe based, very much how like a smartphone would work. For instance, if you have your phone, you know, this is what everybody does. You know, it's a lot of this kind of swipe and stuff. That's what these things are basically mirrored to work like. Now this unit here has some unique features, and I want to touch on those before I forget about them. Now I would compare this one to the new Kenwood, the 317 model. Now in my opinion they're basically the same thing, except another thing that's a bad thing about this unit, unfortunately. Again, another bad thing, but you know, honesty is what I talk about, man. This unit is not Sirius satellite radio compatible. I don't know why it is that way. I don't know why the SCC1 tuners are so damn hard to find out there. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if all these manufacturers are in on some great conspiracy and they're all going to integrate some kind of freaking cloud-based app, or they're going to use some kind of app for your phone to work with the radio so you can do the internet streaming. I don't know what their great plan is. I really don't know. I wish I could tell you people. I don't know. But this unit, for whatever reason, is not satellite radio compatible. I don't know why. 800 Clarion, let them tell you why. I don't know why. Now, some other stuff about this unit. Like I said, it is front and rear compatible. Right here is on a button, and you can control what source you want on the rear. So this will feed whatever you see on these choices onto the rear LCD monitors. And of course, you have the front, so you can control what you want to do here. Now, I did already pair my telephone to it, so that way if I wanted to use this, say if I wanted to call here, what the hell's my number? 3. So if you need to buy some electronics, make sure you call that number right there. Otherwise your radio will not work properly. I can assure you of that. There you go. My phone should be going a ring-a-ling-a-ling. And look at that, I'm calling myself because I'm connected via Bluetooth. So it's kind of stupid to actually call yourself. So let's kind of terminate that right there. Now you see here I got all my dialed outputs. There's your keypad, your received inputs, missed calls, all your contacts, they're all right in there. I mean, pretty cool, right? I mean, pretty good. And there's your phone. Going about this phone, I want to talk about this a little bit more too, because this is actually really cool. When I was pairing the phone, I couldn't help but notice that it has not 1 or 2, but it actually has 5. See that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different users you can connect for your Bluetooth functionality. So you can actually have 5 separate phones, all their own phone books, you know, settings, etc. 5 times. Weird. I've never seen 5 on any unit. I've seen 2, I've seen even 3 on one, but I've never seen 5. So kudos for Clarion on that one. Good job. So as far as that goes, telephone is telephone. I think I've pretty much touched on that. I spent enough time. USB SD audio. SD audio is only going to be accessed through that front port, which I showed you before. I'm going to plug in now. This here is my sync cable for my phone. I'm going to plug that in right now. And that's going to allow me the option to use this button right here. Beep. Why you no worky? What's your problem? Oh, I'm on the rear. Am I? No, I'm on the rear, so I don't want that. I want the front. USB. What the hell's going on? That's weird. I'm gonna let my phone just kind of like re-talk to this radio. Maybe they can come up with something in a dialogue together. I'm just gonna move along. Auxiliary 1 would only be for your composite RCA video inputs, and that will feed your sound right into your unit. Nothing really exciting going on there. Disc video is just gonna be, of course, for your CD, DVD, ROM. USB SD video is not behaving right now currently. iPod video will be the same as iPod audio, however, just with the imagery. And there's your TV, movies, music videos, all that kind of stuff, all laid out right here on the right side of the screen. It gives you a screen here to actually do the viewing, and over here your preview and all your controls right there. So that's okay. We like that. Dedicated rear view camera input, which of course would come on via the reverse signal through the hard wire on the rear of the unit. Auxiliary 2, which I don't foresee most people using, but if you did, it would be another composite input source. Now we're going to get into the audio settings and some of this other setting stuff, because that's what really differentiates a good radio from a bad one, in my opinion. Clarion's always been pretty good. We'll see what they have for us in 2014. So, your language, shortcut menu. This is going to allow you to take any one of these images and put them onto your home screen and move them around however it is that you want them to be. So you could take, like, say, Bluetooth audio and move that to your home screen. You could take your Pandora, move that over there, you know. So that's pretty cool, because, you know, this, you can only get 6 on the screen, and there's obviously like 10 or more to choose from, so that could definitely become a pretty important thing for a lot of people. Your time, 12 and 24 hour time, the beep setting, Bluetooth setting. There's my phone, your image for your wallpaper. Now this has stuff that you can import via different sources, and I'm not going to get into that into this video because it's going to take me, I think, a little bit too long. However, I will do a follow-up. I want to get into some of the other stuff like audio settings and other things that I think that really do matter to people, more so than that. Illumination Color, which is basically like every other unit out in the market. You can adjust the screen and this simultaneously, or you can have a combination of the two, and you can make your own custom type of format. You can adjust, initialize, and make it basically any one of their presets, or you can make your own custom through RGB and just go crazy with yourself. So this will match anybody's dashboard color, no matter who you are, what you drive. Auxiliary inputs, auxiliary source. You have 3 different settings, which is pretty cool, and that's a new thing I've never seen. DivX registration, which isn't even worth talking about. Telephone speaker. Now this here is really cool. So if you wanted to use your telephone, you could actually have the person speaking to your front left, because you could have it mute, or you could have it go through, you know, the front left speaker, front right, pair it off, and have the rears playing the rear mode, or just have the rear mode off, which is another good feature. So it's very customizable in that respect. Illumination Color we've already talked about. This we've talked about. Camera audio, which no one's going to use because almost no camera comes with audio. I mean, but it's there. I mean, hey. Version. Now this here, I think that this is something for the future. Okay, I don't know what all this gargled mumbo jumbo means, but I can assure you that somehow, some way, they're going to have an update for this unit, because I just know for a fact they're going to use something with those 2 unknown mystery ports in the rear of this unit for something. I know it's going to be something, it's going to be something great, but I just don't know what the heck it is. So stay tuned for that. I just don't know right now. I just want to get into the audio settings, because, you know, this is regular widescreen dimmer mode. Now here you go, balance fader, BDQ. Not crazy about this. It gives you 3 choices: bass, impact, excite, or you can create your own custom one, which gives you not laid out, you know, like this with like curves and lines and stuff like that, which is very good for me. I personally like to see charts and graphs and lines and, you know, bars. You know, I'm a little old school like that, I guess you might say. But for people that are a little bit more advanced, I mean, of course I understand that it's 100 Hertz. You want to emphasize that frequency, and you want to have your curve round off at the maximum point, you know, or you want to have it flatter, that's okay. But this is something that the novice would probably have to pick up the book and read and educate himself, because this could definitely throw off, you know, someone who's not a super audiophile and crazy for this stuff. But it does cover the basics, and it does give you a good amount of control. However, I've seen a lot better in Pioneer and JVCs and some other systems that give you more robust and easier to understand graphic EQs to look at while you're customizing it, so it's a very much more enjoyable, you know, interface for me personally. I think for most people this is kind of like the Kenwood looking one, which I think is hard. I think they're both actually very equal when it comes to how the EQs function. Subwoofer control, which you have a dedicated control, you know, to turn it up and down from here. It's a little slow. I'm not crazy about how slow the subwoofer volume control is. You know, it does give you the reverse and normal phasing, which has always been a Pioneer feature. For whatever reason, in 2014, Clarion decided to get on board in that boat and start doing that. But I don't see too many people wiring their speakers upside down and out of phase to need that feature, but whatever, it's there. High pass filter they do have, and I think that that's great, because I think this is a must-have for anybody who utilizes an amplifier. So if you have your subwoofer tuned at 85 Hertz or 90 Hertz, so you want that to play 90 Hertz and down, you could have a 90 Hertz filter and limit that low bass frequency through your front and rear speakers, and have a much louder, more brighter, crisper sounding system. So very good for that. I like that. Going down, you have your low pass filter, which is the exact opposite of what we just talked about for the high pass filter. Oops. However, you can't create a bandpass filter, so you can actually overlay the frequencies. So know that in advance. So if you wanted to say your subwoofer box was tuned to 70 Hertz, you can't cut 70 Hertz and down at your subs and have 70 Hertz and lower on your front system. So you'd actually have to maybe either go flat or tune it a little bit lower and fine-tune your amplifier to get it exactly where you need it to be if you're into doing bandpass filters, which I am personally. So that pretty much covers all that. Magna Bass EQ, basically all it is just a loudness feature for lower volume levels. It increases the bass output. Nothing too exciting there. And last but not least, we have the little wrench. Your password, which you can lock it. This unit is not non-detachable. It's just built in. It's automatically gonna never come on unless you know that code. So if you set it, make sure you know it. Parental Controls, which is for your DVD, DivX, video, things that happen these days. I mean, even Minecraft, they have these little things where kids can chat back and forth dirty languages. I mean, it's crazy. So you got that. Again, your language, subtitles, blinking LED, which is a feature. Again, I think that they've been following some of the other manufacturers out there, like Pioneers. There's a couple others I can't really think of, but have that fake out security light, you know, at nighttime that blinks. They have that. Screen calibration, that again, these are new things. That's always been a Kenwood feature. So you can see that it's like either they're talking to each other or they're trying to be like each other. I'm not really sure. But I always try to go for the one who did it the first, is the one that I feel is always going to be, you know, the big head honcho when it comes to that kind of stuff. But really, that's it in a nutshell. This unit also has front, rear, and subwoofer preamp outputs. I know I mentioned it and told you about it through the RCAs. They are 2 volts in power, so you have that. So all in all, there is your Clarion. This is the VX404. It's a 2014 model. We are having them in shipping right now, so if you're looking for a deal on one, we have them. We have probably the best price out there as of right now. If not, something changes, by all means, shoot us a message. Let us know what it is that you're looking for, whether it be this or a peripheral add-on for the system, or just some help with anything regarding your system. That's what we do. We help people. So there's our review for the VX404.